Greetings, ladies and gentlefish, and welcome to another World of Tanks video. We're going to be having a look at some more ace chasing antics from yours truly in this one. So, a couple of light tanks for you here, and we'll see how things go. Kicking off proceedings in the M7. This is a tier 5 American light tank. In many ways, actually, kind of like the Chaffee, although I do prefer the Chaffee of the two of them. This thing used to be a medium tank way back in the day. At tier... it was still tier 5. Now, light tank drivers, there are some maps you hate seeing and there are some maps you love seeing. And when you see Kampanovka, this is one of those maps where you lick your lips, rub your hands together with glee, and find yourself the nearest bush and park in it. So if I had spawned closer to the lake, over sort of toward the E6 region, then I would have gone into one of the bushes up by the lake there, and you can often get a lot of spots on a lot of people, and there's a corresponding bush on the other side of the map. As it is, I didn't spawn over there, I spawned over by the edge of the map over here, so I decided to come into these bushes instead. Now this is going to be a decent game for me, right up to the point where I make a bit of a dumb mistake. But you know, c'est la vie. More assistance damage, by the way. We're up to 1249 assistance. We're not pulling the trigger here because, you know, that would be dumb. We don't want to reveal our location. We just want to light all these guys up and let our allies delete them from existence. Hello, Mr. T80. Are you having a good day? I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a good day. Oh, Churchill gun carrier. I hope you're having a good day too. A very good day indeed. And how is that T80 still alive? Come on, someone, finish this fella off. There we go. Thank you very much. And that's 5 of the enemy team dead. Now you have to be a little careful, especially on a map like Malinovka. Sometimes when you do this, you'll get your entire team just stop and shoot whatever it is you spot. The problem, of course, being that then they're not getting into important positions, and then the rest of the game can go decidedly south. So, yeah, you have to be a little bit careful. After the initial foray, there don't seem to be that many more people keen to poke their heads up, which is entirely... oh, never mind. I was going to say entirely understandable, and then a Panzer 3J decides to show me that there are still people with the bravery. Yeah, let's go with bravery to do it. And that's almost 2,000 assistance now. Yippee-ki-yay. Su-85, I mean, I'm not spotting that guy, so I'm not getting any of this assistance, unfortunately. Now, there's a leopard over here that we know of, and, oh, speaking of the leopard, oh, there he is. Oh, damn it, he just sort of dips back behind the bush line, which is annoying. Unless artillery can land a shot on him, that would be quite entertaining. Oh, no, apparently he's going to kind of come toward my position, which gets him tracked. And I take a shot from what I think, see this is my mistake, is the safety of the bushes. I don't think anyone's going to be able to spot me because the bushes are opaque. Not going to get into the reasons. If you're not aware, I'll explain it another time. But as it is, instead, I am greeted with being spotted. Now, I don't actually lose any hit points here, but this is sort of the beginning of where the game goes a little bit south for me. So we made a mistake there. Nonetheless, the leopard died and we didn't, so we'll run with that. And then, oh, Churchill gun carrier. Now, CGC is not the most threatening tank in the world. However, with its frontal armour of 85, 88mm, something like that, this gun only has an average penetration of 92. Penetrating the front of him is actually kind of not easy. So he can be problematic. Yeah, that's a thing. So we really want to spot this guy and let our allies deal with him. But unfortunately, he's been terribly unsporting. And he's parked behind a building, so that none of our allies are going to have a direct line of fire onto him, which is a bit annoying. Okay. So, we're in a bush. We're still not spotting anything. I mean, I'm thinking, can I see artillery? But the artillery's probably down in sort of the K0 corner. So I'm trying to work out how safe it's going to be for me to go and do something about that. And I actually decide, right, let's move forwards. Let's see if we can get this CGC spotted, and he's looking the other way. Advantage will be taken. There's a shot. Yes, we can eat this guy. Eat all of his health. Nom 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 nom. But the Su-85 is unfortunately watching, which is a bit of a shame. So I can keep myself behind this Churchill, that's fine. The problem is the Su-85 who keeps shooting me. And we have actually blocked a shot with our armour from his 85mm gun, which I do find kind of funny. Light tank armour, OP, please nerf. Oh, go away artillery, no one likes you. Now unfortunately I am now a one-shot for that Su-85 most of the time. He could even slightly low roll and I'd still be a one-shot. I mean, with my 350 hit points, 2 shots from his 180 alpha damage 85mm gun, a 360, so on average I'm a 2-shot for him. Now I decide to see if I can go and do something about artillery. I'm going to make another mistake, by the way. But I get spotted. The Su-85 doesn't have particularly good view range. I thought I'd be okay, but apparently, well, someone spots me. Whether it was the Su or not, I don't know. And is anyone going to shoot him? Anyone? Gonna shoot a tank destroyer in the face? Apparently not. And okay, so I decide to try and push around here and see if I can find the artillery. It will be obvious when I make a mistake. Let's just put it there. This is not my best played game ever, but screw it. You know what? We'll show it anyway. I'll show the dodgy games. It's fine. I am expecting just to spot this guy and then swerve away and hey, what's that? Who put that map border there? God damn it. Like I said, I'm going to make a bit of a pig's ear of that. So, yeah, I misjudged where the boundary of the map was and I died for it. Now, let's just have a quick moment to think about who we've got on our team. We've got an M44, an Su-5, P2640, an M3 Lee and an Su-100Y. Encouragingly, both the medium tanks appear to have camped base hard, which is a thing. And we basically have no one spotting. This is slightly problematic. They are against a Hummel, an OI Experimental, a one-shot Su-85, a Lefebvre, and a Panzer Soufflé 4B. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that French. Leffy 18B2. Apparently I am going to try and pronounce it. So our Panzer 4H is trying to do some spotting here. Credit to him for giving it a go, but with 3 artillery on the enemy team, that's going to be problematic. Now, that does still leave an OI Experimental. I'm going to speed this along a little bit, just to show you what happens for the next couple of minutes, but I don't actually watch this game to the end. So, in a few moments, I'm just going to pause this and let you guess what you think happens. And we'll see how many of you are right. We'll see how optimistic or pessimistic you are. Time will tell. So, OI Experimental has been spotted. Su-100, boom. Artillery, boom. And now we have an Su-100Y, an M44, an M3 Lee, a P2640 and an Su-5 versus a one-shot Su-85 and 3 artillery. 3 artillery who just gave the Su-100Y a bit of a working over. And at this point, I would like you to guess who you think is going to win this match, because I'm going to leave this game soon. We're not going to see the end of it. But have a punt, have a guess. Who do you think's going to win? Our team or their team? Our team or their team? You get the idea, I'm not going to keep repeating that. Ta-da! Did you guess correctly? Loki guessed a loss. And whilst I totally understand why the cynic in her would want to do that, yeah, go figure. Maybe it was fairly realistic, but anyway, it did actually end up being a win. And yes, as Loki points out, she has successfully managed to guess an 8-loss streak before, so not beyond the realms of possibility. And to those people going, well, obviously it was a win because you already said it was an ace. Remember, of course, heroic resistance means if you pick up a medal, you get the bonus XP as if you had won, not the ×2 for the first win of the day, obviously. So you can actually lose and get that experience to get the ace, if you see what I mean. As it was, Ace Tanker, Spotter Ribbon, Fire for Effect, and a Patrol Duty Medal. Didn't spot enough enemy tanks to get a Scout, and I'm pretty sure you have to survive for a Scout, and I did not. But I did finish at the top of my team, 504 damage done, 1 kill, 880 base experience, and as it turns out, 2,230 assistance damage. Even managed to block one shot with our armour. Booyah! Light Tunk armour. OP. Plesnerf. Light Tunk. But you might notice that after the time I died at the 6-minute mark. The match went on to the 14-minute mark. So there was another 8 minutes it took this team to win. And as it turned out, the Su-100Y died. It was just down to one artillery piece, the P-26 and the M3 Lee, and they won by capping. They weren't able to take down that one-shot Su-85 who survived and an artillery piece. But there we go. C'est la vie. I was like, win's a win. I aced the M7. I'm going to take it. Next game. Bumped up a few tiers then, still in a light tank. We are in the WZ-131, Chinese tier 7 light. We're also bottom tier, and this is, I mean, Redshire's a map. It's not as if as a light tank player you look at it and go, well, this is going to be a terrible game or anything. But it's not a Kampanovka. You can still have good games on this, and spoiler alert, it's an ace tanky game, I mean, yeah. But we're going to be doing less bush camping this time. There's going to be a lot more driving. I promise. Also, end up accidentally talking to a French guy in chat, using my GCSE French a little bit, and adding him to my friend list, so why the hell not? Anyway, when I'm on this map, in a light tank, I do quite like to start off in this little bush here. This little bush of mine, I'm gonna make it shout. Oh, stop, I'm sorry. So with this, you can spot some of the people who want to camp over on the other ridgeline over there. So I like spotting, starting off spotting here. And actually, I was having a think because myself and Baldric were comparing the numbers of, or the relative numbers of patrol duty and scout medals we've got. Now, Baldric has much more of both medal compared to me. That shouldn't come as a massive surprise. I have played a good variety of all different tank classes, and whilst that's also kind of true of Baldric, he does really like his light tanks, and that's absolutely fine. But the interesting point to note was that Baldric has a roughly even split of scout medals and patrol duties. So for those of you who don't remember, scout is awarded for the number of tanks you initially spot, and you also have to survive. And patrol duty is awarded for the amount of assistance damage that you rack up, and it has to be on a certain number of different tanks. So Baldric has a roughly even split of those two medals. I have more than twice as many patrol duties as I have scouts. This could indicate a few things. One, after playing, a lot of games in this game, far too many use of the word game there, with a pauper equipment setup, so I tended to have binoculars a lot. I got used to sitting in a bush and passive scouting, and maybe that leaves you less likely to actually be the one initially spotting a lot of targets. Or maybe I fail the survival requirement and I just get myself killed a lot in light tanks. I don't know. But it's an interesting, I just thought it was a vaguely interesting point. I'd actually be quite interested to see those people who, especially from those players who play, it doesn't have to be mainly light tanks, but play a respectable number of light tanks. Patrol duty versus scout, which do you have the more of? Which medal do you think is the more valuable, or is it more sort of a situational thing? I don't know, I'd be interested to hear what you think. Anyway, the Bush of Wonders has not really worked this game, which is a little bit of a shame. And the Max Gamer, the French guy I was talking to, has succumbed, unfortunately. And there's a lot of bad guys over here, so I'm just going to bug out. I'm not going to stay there and fight these guys. I'm bottom tier, I'm in a light tank, I have no armour. Yeah, go figure. Scoreline is 2-1, so that's not too bad. And I'm not going to completely abandon this flank, but I'm not just going to hang around there and wait to be shot. And pew! So, I am not a huge fan of this tank, I must admit. I mean, this is going to end up being a pretty good, decent game, but this is not a tank I've ever really liked. The Chinese light tanks tend to play as kind of scaled down mediums rather than true light tanks, so what you tend to find is that your top speed limit isn't fabulous. It tends to be around 60 kilometers an hour. Occasionally, especially on the tier 10, you get a little bit of armour, although you shouldn't rely on that too much. Your gun depression is deeply mediocre. I mean, it's Chinese at the end of the day. But you do tend to get fairly hench guns for their tier. So you get an 85mm gun on this thing at tier 7, which hits for 200 alpha damage, which I think is the highest of any of the tier 7 light tanks off the top of my head. Anyway, the accuracy on the gun is pretty woeful. So we have a shot there into the bum of the IS, and then there's an AMX 5100, so we'll definitely take that shot. I mean, it seems rude not to be shooting into a 5100's bum if given the opportunity. And there's another one. Yeah, well, we will take that. And then he moves off. Okay, so I wasn't able to retrack him. Tracking shots is not really the sort of thing you can reliably aim for in this gun. You usually just aim for the centre of mass of whatever it is you can actually see. And if it goes into the tracks, great. If the gun were more accurate, then sure, you might be able to, but not so much. Put a shot into the Object 430 there and actually set him on fire, though he's clearly using a premium fire extinguisher as that fire goes out after only 1 tick of damage. And we're just going to relocate. I'm just trying to gradually fall back and try and put flanking shots into some of these guys where I can, keep them spotted for artillery, things like that. Before realising, you know, there's quite a lot of them there. Do I really want to hang around here? Do I want to properly retreat? You know, it's that continual conundrum and questioning that you have to be very, very careful of. Anyway, Batchat 12T has been spotted. Aiming is for suckers. He becomes my first kill. Yay! He's dead. And now we've got a Pantera who has been spotted out there. Gets unspotted, but I take a punt at him. You never know, you might get lucky. And so we've got the Pantera, the IS. Oh, Super Pershing, okay. We've got our own IS-2 out on this flank as well, but again, remember this is a tier 9 match. He is also at the bottom of the pecking order. Pick up a little bit of assistance damage on the Super Pershing there. So you have to be careful when relying on someone like that for too much, because there's only so much they're going to be able to achieve. Okay, can we get a shot on the IS? It doesn't really look like it. Oh, okay, Pantera is going for the IS-2. Okay, that could be problematic, and I don't have any shots. Right. Well, this is a little tricky. Object 430 is also behind me. Okay, if someone could kill this 430, that would be lovely. Be really useful to take out one of their tier 9s. Oh, IS-2, you rockstar. Nice shot. And there goes the Super Pershing as well. Lovely pair of kills there from Radonex in the IS-2 and Campion in the WZ-132A. Looks like Chinese tanks are ruling the roost at the moment. And then I missed that shot. I mean, go figure. I was trying to see if I could spot out these challengers and get them shot up. But at the moment, what I'm actually considering is that there's still an IS who was last spotted on quite a lot of health over on the K line. So if I can go around, I can outflank him, I can help these guys against him, get him killed, and that might be quite a nice use of my time at the moment. Because our IS-2 has 22 health and that IS has 1060. And, I mean, he must be making our artillery kind of nervous. So let's see if I can go in and lend some assistance. Scoreline is 10-7, so I should have the time. Oh, we just lost our IS-2, that's a shame. Never mind. I should have the time to go around here and do something about this IS. Before the team, without the team completely collapsing, because, we were ahead on kills. Anyway, I'm thinking at this point, we're in a reasonably good position in this game. So looping around the back, where's this IS gone? I haven't spotted him so far. He's probably going for our artillery, let's be honest. Alright, so we're just going to move up and see if we can find him, and there he is. And artillery is going to be able to shoot him now, and I put one shell into his bum. Artillery works him over, and then can I reload for the second shot? Yes, and I secure the kill. There we go. So that is the IS dead. Hurrah! And now we're going to try and go over to the other side of the map, spot the challengers and whatnot. Just going to speed this along a little bit here. Our WZ-132A has also gone over here to do something about the challengers, but unfortunately he turns victim to one of them. Now I don't know what guns these challengers are using. If they're using the top gun, the 32 pounder, then they don't have a fully rotating turret. But if they have the 17 pounder gun, they will have a fully rotating turret and a faster rate of fire. So I'm almost kind of hoping they have the smaller gun. My auto-aim screws me over there, so my mouse is a bit dodgy at the minute. The right click doesn't really... It tends to double click when you do it, which means that in tanks you auto-aim on something and then you un-auto-aim, and yeah. So that could have been my kill, but as it is, the artillery picks the kill up, so I'm not complaining. That's absolutely fine. But now it means that we've just got 3 artillery pieces, 3 artillery pieces plus me versus an E75, an M40-43 and a Challenger. So this is a little bit dicey. I'm just trying to toss up exactly what it is I want to do, and in the end I decide that it's probably worth my while going to try and do something about the enemy artillery. If we can kill him and or the Challenger, basically let's kill the E75's little friends, and then we can deal with the E75. Now I'm heading over toward the artillery, but I get spotted out, probably by the Challenger, who takes a punt at me, and yeah. So I'm just going to hide behind this house for a bit, as I don't want to get slapped in the face by that artillery piece. And I'm going to go for the artillery and the Challenger, and artillery with support, as our artillery is supporting. And they've actually been pretty reliable so far this game. So I am of the opinion that these artillery are not complete scrubs. M40 does appear to be relocating a little bit, which I don't think I noticed at the time, so that is something that is worth being aware of. But even so, I've got 2 artillery giving me support for anything that I spot. And they're not here. Okay, well the Challenger is definitely mobile enough to have relocated fairly considerably. And, oh, there's the M40, M43. Alright. So, let's see if we can do anything about him. Yes, I get spotted, and artillery takes a shot, but unfortunately isn't able to pick up the kill. And what can we do about this guy? Take a shot on the move, but it doesn't do anything. Again, artillery is able to put in some damage, but not pick up the kill. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about following this guy, because it just feels like a trap. You know, it feels like he's trying to lure me out in front of the E75 or something. And artillery, one of them actually manages to pick up some more damage on that M40-43. Lots of splash, but not much actual, you know, him dying. And speaking of the E75, there he is. So I'm glad I decided to choose a different route. Now I'm loading a heat round here. With the heat rounds from this gun, your penetration goes from 160 odd. Goes from 159 to 230. Basically, I want to try and secure this E75 kill. He's on low health, and 160 penetration against an E75 is really dicey. Even in the side, that's a really dodgy shot. You'd really need to take him from behind. But as it is, you know, I may not have the opportunity, so I use one heat round to take out the E75 there. And then we swing round and we're going to try and do something about the artillery and or the Challenger. But the Challenger finds me, and he does have the big gun, and he takes out my ammo rack. Now I need to use the repair kit to put my track back in place. Ooh, that was a bit close. Which we managed to do. It does mean that I am ammo racked. Now I put one shot into the Challenger. The M40-43 finishes him off, and now I'm going to be a little bit indecisive. There's an artillery piece left. We could all cap to try and win. Probably know where that artillery piece is going to be. We're running out of time. In the end, I decided to go for the artillery piece. My logic being that if we go into the capture circle, that guy could try and blind fire the cap circle anyway. So, yeah, it's not a foregone conclusion. And I'm pretty sure this guy hasn't gone anywhere special, because he hasn't... I mean, I've been around the E75 and the Challenger and all that, and he hasn't driven past me in the interim. So I reckon he's probably still cowering over in that river. You could argue this is a bit of a risk, but hey, it's going to be a bit of a risk whatever you do. And aim, 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 but our artillery is on the money, and there we go. That ends up being the game. A nice little carry there in a bottom tier light tank. So, let's have a look and see how things went in the post-game stats. So that was enough for Ace Tanker, obviously. For Eye for Effect, Spotter, and cruiser ribbons, a patrol duty medal, there's another one, and an Orlix medal, which you get for killing enemy bad guys who are a higher tier than you when you are driving your light tanks, which is fairly nice. Finished at the top of our team. Unfortunately, the Max Gamer, who I was platooned with, got taken out fairly early on. But working with the artillery there, we managed to have a pretty good result. 2,343 damage done. Only one heat round fired, so most of that was good old-fashioned regular armour piercing. 3 kills, 1,505 base experience. Remembering, of course, this was a tier 9 match, so I was shooting equal or higher tier opponents, which is where some of that experience will have come from. 17 shots fired, 13 hits, 12 penetrations for that damage count, which is actually not a bad performance from that gun. 4 hits received, 3 penetrated, 1 did not, 2 enemy vehicles spotted. See, only 2 spotted, but I still managed a patrol duty medal. There we go. 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 of them destroyed, roughly 2,500 assistance damage, and 8 kilometers travelled. Hey, light tanks and mobility, hurrah! 22,500 credits profit, times 2 for the first win of the day, so that was 3,000 experience with a standard account there. None too shabby. So there we go. Couple of games there, getting ace tankers in light tanks. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, feel free to catch some of my others and or subscribe to my channel. And as ever, I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.